Hello, my darling, my angel, my love. I missed you. Even if we've never met before, I missed you because our souls were meant to meet. We called each other in, and I'm so grateful to be with you in this moment. Welcome or welcome back to the Soul Salon, a soulful place, a feeling place, a healing place for the feelers, for the dreamers, for the healers. I am so grateful to have you with me today. And my aliveness is trying to touch yours, and that's the point of all of this. And that's exactly what I want to ask you, my loves, my angels, my darlings. Are you reaching for perfection when life is asking you to reach for connection? Oh my goodness. Let's sit with that for a second. In what moments of your life, in what pursuits, in what happenings, in what projects, in what conversations, experiences in this unfolding of life, are you reaching for perfection when what you could invite yourself to do, when what life is always doing is reaching for connection? In every leaf, there is the whole universe. The water that allowed it to be so, the soil, the air, the oceans, everything being one. Everything is part of everything. And so, life in and of itself is connection. Sometimes, as artists, as creators, we ask ourselves, like, what's the point of making this? What's the point of making this video? What's the point of writing this poem? What's the point of writing this Substack? We get the idea. We're so excited. We're like, yes, this could be so amazing. And then we sit down and we face discomfort and it's uncomfortable. And we're like, you know what? What's the point? What's the point? Like, why do this? It's just one essay. It's just a Substack. It's just a this. It's just a poem. It's just an email. It's just an invite that someone's probably going to say no to. But my loves, my darlings, my angels, imagine all of life asked itself that question. Imagine the cells in your body, tiny as they are, asked, you know what, what's the point? What's the point of showing up today? What's the point of my biology doesn't go very far, but what is the point of this little act that I'm being asked to do? What is the point of a leaf? What is the point of a twig? And yet, how could we have all of it if we didn't honor the sacredness of some of it? How could we truly say we care about the body if we don't care about the cell? How could we truly say we care about the tree if we don't care about the leaf? So anyone in our community who needs to hear this, sometimes we miss the point by asking ourselves what the point is. What if the point is something far beyond your understanding, far beyond your ability to perceive? You know, sometimes you'll listen to a podcast and the creator will think this was the point of this episode. And you might hear one sentence they say that you run with. You journal about it, you think about it. Maybe that turns into a whole movie, you know, metaphorically or actually. So I just want us to surrender the point. Share your aliveness. Isn't that the point of it? That something is alive in you and seeking to be expressed through you, and let that be enough. Let the desire be enough. Let the urge be enough. Let the impulse itself be enough. The what if? What if I wrote about this? You know, I had this idea for an essay that was meant to be on Substack, and it was going to be all about the alchemy of grace. You know, this notion that as you get older and older, and we're all the oldest we've ever been and the youngest we will be again. So this is all just saying, in this life unfolding, we are invited so often into the question of, do I have the grace to hold this friendship lightly? Do I have the grace to sustain what this relationship is asking of me? And so often, you know what's so funny, my loves? Do you know that a lot of people think that the biggest regret in the world is not living a life that's true to yourself? And that comes from the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. They did this global regret study, and I'm not one to be like, but actually there's a study. But like, I found this very fascinating because it shifts the focus from individualism to collectivism. They did this global regret study, and there's a book that I read called The Power of Regret. And the number one regret that they've studied across the world is lost connections. And the 3 words that that author offers is always reach out. People regret that they did not reach out. They did not reach for. They allowed a relationship that mattered to them to fizzle away. They held on to rifts for too long. Is that a word? They held on to these tensions, these meaningless conflicts. And then maybe the person got sick, or maybe they got sick, and suddenly none of it mattered. So people's biggest regret at the end of life is that they didn't reach out. And as artists, we are the reaching out. We are the offering. We are the offering of connection. How many of us, had we not had music to cry to sing to dance to, our experience of breaking up with people or going through these deep, painful losses and griefs and in twists and turns of life, had we not been able to reach for the music that was offered to us, and that singer went to some of their most painful moments and they turned it into a song, and the movie maker reached into their own history of, I've watched Sinners recently and I'm obsessed and I'm going to watch it again this weekend. But had Ryan Coogler not been able to look into the depths of himself, his own history as an African American person, his own shame, when he shares his story, I've been binging his interviews around how he was so focused on work when his uncle was sick and dying and he wasn't able to witness and be with his uncle in those last years of life. Had he just pushed that feeling away, there would be no Sinners. But he went into the feeling. He reached for connection through the feeling. And he's shifting culture as he continues to do. And so I want us all, I don't even know where I was, but I want us all to reach for each other and to surrender the point to someone else's concern. What is the point of this video? Do you think I know the answer to that, or do you know the answer? Because this is an offering. This is me reaching for you. And you get to decide, or it gets to be decided through you. You know, someone who I found recently, who I felt so moved by, is Michael Beckwith. He's a spiritual teacher, and he's just like, you feel into his vibration and you feel love. Like you feel like this is a person who loves me. And it's the most incredible feeling. And something that he says that I love is thinking about there is infinite good that wants to use you as a means. Like you are a vessel. Something is trying to unfold through you. And there's this process of surrender for you to allow it to happen. And so in those same moments where you've been conditioned to say, well, I only get to do this if it is perfect or if it is excellent. So many of us, you know, as a Black creator, as a Black woman creator, we've been given the idea that excellence is what makes it worth it, right? Like we point to people's excellence as justifying the whole story of unfolding. And as Black people, as brown people, as women, as people, I feel like whoever you are, this feeling of being conditioned into believing you have to be perfect has touched you, whoever you are, and is affecting you and is shaming you out of your truest expression. And I invite us to say that, and to feel into the idea that there's something very alive about choosing connection. Is perfection the most alive ideal? It feels a little bit dead. It's been given to us. It's not something we chose. When we were little children, we didn't say, I have to sing the song perfectly or I'm not going to sing. So it's not the most alive part of us, yet connection is alive. And something that I'm so grateful for culturally is that my culture has taught me connection. And I'm in the process of finding my way home to my own language, Zulu, isiZulu. And I'm trying to do it this time with levity, with reverence, with love. Because so often I've focused on how I'll never be perfect. There's so much to learn and I'll never be good enough for it to not be noticeable that it's not my first language, so that I can avoid the shame of being judged by people for speaking it with an accent, quote unquote. And I've let that perfectionism block me from the connection that this language is. That the connection, that is the point, is that I get to connect with this language and therefore with myself. I get to connect through this language. Please pardon the background noise. Like this language is connection. So if I say, no, but I'm only going to do this perfectly, I'm blocking myself from the deep connection that is trying to be possible through the language. And one of the shames you can feel when you're learning your own language is your own people might make fun of you if you say things a certain way. But what I've realized is that is the language trying to protect itself, because the language has been so intruded upon and so attacked, but it stayed resilient and strong. It stayed spoken by millions of people. And I think part of that intelligence is protecting itself from intrusion. And though it's painful to be on the receiving end of that, I've now depersonalized it. It's like not about me. The language is an aspect of life. From the perspective of the universe, what's the difference between a leaf and a language, between a forest and a language? between the oceans and a language. Like language is life, stories are life, they're alive. And so the language as a form of life wants to keep living, and it's doing what it feels it needs to do to keep living. So instead of me focusing on how I can reach for the language perfectly, I can find the beauty in the reaching itself. And something so beautiful that I find, because a language is a lineage, that so many things I'm now noticing about Zulu as a language. I've grown up like hearing it. I took it in school. I'm familiar with it. I just am not like fluent in it. And my perfectionism is like, you have to be perfect at this language to be worthy of even speaking it. And then therefore I never try. So what I'm doing now is I'm coming to it not with a perfectionistic mindset, with a mindset of, if I learn one thing today, but also with the mindset of desire and like not should or obligation, but reverence. Like, this is an amazing language. It's lyrical, it's melodical, it's dramatic. It's dramatic. It's vocal. Like the vowel sounds are very like powerful. It's expressive. Oh my God, it's expressive. And when I list those things, I have chills because I am those things. And that's not an accident. My grandmother is those things. My mother is those things. And so even though I didn't grow up speaking the language grew up speaking me. And you know, my ancestors, I have opened up that portal and they've said to me, all we want to see, Uguti uyazama, you are trying. You are trying, like you are trying to come home to us. That's all we want to see. We don't care about this accent, that accent. All we want to see is that you are trying. And they said to me, why do you think we gave you a voice that roars? It's because we want you to speak. We want you to be heard. And actually, we want you to have lost this language so that you can find your way back to it. And so they want me to reach for connection. They don't care about being perfect at this time. They want me to reach for them through the language. Because the language, I think there's a quote, I don't know who it's by, is a world. It's a world of history and culture. It's a worldview as well. A language communicates a worldview, is a worldview. Communicates how elders are regarded, communicates what it means to acknowledge a person. And so what I'm really feeling into, my darlings, my loves, my angels, is that in the moments where you have been conditioned, for example, let's say you see someone from across the room, you want to say hello to them, but you don't know what to say. You've been conditioned to believe it's better to analyze and sit in that not knowing and fixate on it. What would I say? What would I ask? I don't have the perfect question. If I ask them where they're from, that's so small talk, and I don't like small talk, but I also can't ask them what's their biggest regret in life. And so you reach for perfection. And what if you just reached for connection? Connection can hold mistakes. Connection can hold awkwardness. It is not the most awful thing in the world to be awkward. I've been really accepting my own awkwardness. Like, yes, that's a part of life. This pause that feels like it's too long, stuttering, this muttering, whatever this is, it is all part of life. And there's so many times where, for example, when someone is grieving someone, we don't know what to say. We reach for perfection. What's the perfect thing to say? We come out blank. There is no perfect thing to say. So then what do? Maybe we change the subject because it's uncomfortable. Maybe we don't ask them how they're doing because we don't know if it's a good enough question. We don't know how to ask, what to ask. So instead of reaching for connection with them imperfectly, we reach for perfection. With ourselves, maybe we're trying to form a habit, a ritual, routine. We say, I want to write morning pages. And she says in the artist's way, it has to be 3 pages. And yet I resist even writing one sentence. But imagine how that one sentence would have allowed you to connect with yourself over time. If you wrote one sentence a day over a year, how much connection would that unfold through and for you? So my loves, my angels, there's something I sing to myself, and I'm sick and I haven't warmed up my voice, but I sing to myself again and again, today I am choosing connection over perfection. Today I am choosing connection over perfection. Today I am choosing connection over perfection. So share that essay or write it and let yourself connect more deeply with reality through it. Know that all of this is a gift of our aliveness that we get to create. We get to speak, we get to converse, we get to ask a question that feels awkward or clumsy. We get to reach for each other. We get to apologize. And we may not have the perfect words. Aren't those the most honest apologies? When you can tell someone is trying, but they don't have the words and the tears come and their voice breaks. It's so deeply honest and reverent and meaningful. What areas in your life are asking, oh my word, texting. How often when we don't have the perfect response, do we avoid the text? We get the text, it feels so good, maybe to be thought of or be reached for. And then we start typing and we're like, ooh, that's not good enough. Or like, no, I'll wait till the moment where I can truly respond from a reflective pace. Now that can be beautiful, but sometimes then we let wanting the perfect response stop us from responding at all. So today I am choosing connection over perfection. I do this so often with all of my drafts could have created connection for people. My drafts of Substack, my drafts of TikTok, but I reached for perfection. Why? Because of ego protection, of not wanting to be humiliated, of not wanting to be judged, of not wanting to feel into my own conditional self-worth. So I avoid it. When we just save it to drafts, I don't have to confront myself and what I actually feel about myself and the ways that my own self-love is lacking. So when we are reaching for connection, I invite us to see that it's love's invitation, like I've said, that every creation is love's invitation. What does it mean? If I ask this question and the person rejects the question, can I not make their rejection mean confirmation of my unworthiness? Can I treat myself with unconditional love instead of shame? Can I treat myself with reverence, regardless of what comes next? And part of why I believe I continue to feel shame in my creative process is because I'm supposed to be a vessel for its communication, be a vessel for its connection. I'm meant to feel this so that I can be and give and support the voice of it. Not in a self-martyrdom way, but I feel the sense that it's not a better outcome for me to have overcome these fears. It's actually, that is my power as an artist. Just like, imagine there was no musician who went through heartbreak, or they just didn't feel the heartbreak. They wouldn't be the musicians we know them to be. So it's like, as artists, as creators, as visionaries, as makers, we feel so deeply. And our feelings are never an accident because the collective gets to feel and connect through us. I'm so grateful that I reached for you today instead of my own perfection, instead of my fixating on what if I don't have the right words? What if it's another time where I start the recording and don't finish it? And when I'm asking my future self who is going to look at this video, edit it, and analyze and judge and criticize it is, we're enough. We're enough, my love. We're enough as we are, and we don't know the point. We don't know what 3 words from this will actually truly touch and reach someone. We're so majestical, we could never know how or why. But create the surface area of connection and allow the magic to unfold. Allow your medicine to go beyond your ability to conceive or understand exactly what it is. I'm so grateful to you, my loves. Thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening. I'm so excited for all that is unfolding. And I'm just grateful to be in this exact moment with you. I'm sending you so much love. I'm reminding you of your eternal sacredness. I'm reminding you that even though you have dreams and goals and desires and hopes and wishes, just as you are more than enough. And I'm inviting you and inviting myself into the question, around that question of regret. Who could you reach out to? Who could you make amends with? Who could you hold with grace? Who has been trying to reach out to you? I know I have a few people that I need to take the time to reach for connection with and through. And I know that there can be resistance. We all want community, just like we all want love and community ask of us. And sometimes what they ask feels really uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to respond to a text and admit that it's been months or weeks or days and you feel ashamed of that. It's uncomfortable to apologize. It's uncomfortable to reach out to someone again when you feel like you were the last person who reached out. But my loves, something I ask myself is, if I were dying or if they were dying, would I reach out? If their parents were dying or if my parents were dying, would we suddenly be in each other's lives again because everything would be put back into its place as to what truly matters? And then I tell myself, I am dying and they are dying and my parents are dying and their parents are dying. We all are. And in the book, the Tibetan book of living and dying, something that they say that I'll never forget is that when we truly confront death, it is only at that point that we truly are able to confront life. So when we are radically in touch with what it means to die, only then can we be radically in touch with what it means to live. And what it also says that I find so profound is when we really confront death, we also instantly will recognize the parts of us that are being invited to die so that we may truly live. Our envy, our grievances, our annoyances, our egos, aspects of our being that aren't our highest self. When we truly think, wow, like I am not here forever, that's, I think, when we start to think, we start to see, we start to feel into, I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be the best YouTuber. I don't have to be followed by a certain amount of people. I really don't need any of those things. I'm here to share my aliveness because I won't always be alive. I don't have to compare myself to anyone because I'm a particular steward of this life. I'm a mother of this life. This is an aspect of life that has chosen me to parent it. And so anytime I choose to silence my voice because it doesn't feel good enough, I'm also silencing my aliveness. And therefore our aliveness. I get to reach for the connection. And that is the alive part of me, is the part of me that seeks to connect because we need each other and we need creativity and we need connection and we deserve to reach for community, to reach for collectivism over perfectionism. And I've been thinking to myself, because you're supposed to celebrate excellence as a Black person, as a Black creator, as a Black woman creator. But I've been asking myself, what if I didn't even come here to be excellent? What if I came here to be generous? What if I came here simply to give, to share, to serve? And how perfect something is, and the examples I brought in or didn't bring in, or was never part of the point. And when you fully embody a value, that can be your form of excellence. If you fully embody generosity, that is its own excellence. If you fully embody effort, you just try. You try. That's excellent if you want it to be. So we can either reject excellence, we can redefine excellence, and also we can admit the parts of our lives where we really are in pursuit of it. That's also beautiful. I honor all things, as long as we can try and do them in a way that is self-loving, that is collective loving, and that nourishes and plants the seeds and tends to the seeds of the kind of world we wish to see. I'm sending you so much love, my darlings, my loves, my angels. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you once more, twice more, 3 times more, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 17 times. I'm holding you with so much love. And I will see you on the next soul session. I love you. Bye. My darling, my love, my soul sibling, thank you for stepping into the Soul Salon. If you are still hearing or watching this, we are soul siblings. We are resonating on the same frequency. And so something you may struggle with that I struggle with is the fear of being seen.
You know that visibility is involved in you living your creative purpose and being in your power, serving the collective through your gifts, through your magic, through your medicine. In order to do that, you know you need to be more seen than you are allowing yourself to be right now. I have a gift just for you, heart-made for us on this frequency, and it is a free ebook called the Soulful Visibility Guide. That is Soulful Visibility. Like, we don't just want to be seen, we want to be felt, we want to be heard, we want to move and be moved. So I do have a free gift for you, and all you need to do is go to my website, Ayandastood.com, and there you will be able to input your email address and receive this directly to your inbox. This is such a juicy and delicious guide, and I change the free offering every few months, so get it while you can. All the links are in the show notes. So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you on the next soul session. Okay, I love you. Bye.